You guys, okay, so it is currently 4:52 a.m. and I'm up at work. What am I doing? Oh, I'm about to go on a patrol in a few minutes, but I just thought it was a good idea to come on here and tell you guys about this movie that I watched yesterday and the day before. So I don't know about you guys, but I love a good action movie. Okay, I think out of anything, I like comedy too. If I had to choose, I would say I prefer to laugh, but I don't know. Nothing beats it. I don't know. Is it an action or a comedy? It's so tricky. Which one would you guys prefer, action or comedy? I do love to laugh because I'm goofy, but I just be so impressed with especially if it's a good comedy. I mean, a good action movie. I love a good action movie. Anyway, so let's talk about it. So I watched the movie The Accountant 2 with Ben Affleck. And oh my gosh, so it was a movie about mental illness. And he was a guy who has mental, like some disease that, I can't remember what the actual diagnosis was, but I can say it was like some kind of syndrome he had that, it made him react a certain way when certain things were done. He sort of kind of had a little bit of OCD mixed with it. And I don't think they said it was OCD, but whatever the syndrome was kind of reminded me a little bit of like just the obsessive, traits that he had was kind of like that. Anyways, I don't jump down my throat because I don't know what it was called, but I'm just letting you guys know. So there was this detective who was working on a case because her former boss got murdered, and he was working on a case that I guess he just got too far involved in, and he ended up getting murdered because of it. So she was just basically trying to figure out who was it that the answer to she was trying to figure out who was the case that he was working on, and basically she felt like that probably would lead to the person who murdered him. And she remembered that because he was working on this case, it was also involving a case that she had of somebody who was formerly involved with the case. So she decided to ask him for help, which was Ben Affleck. So Ben Affleck, because he has this obsessive behavior, when he starts something, he has to finish it, and yeah, I don't want to say too much. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to ruin the movie for anybody. But oh my gosh. Okay, so, she's the type of person who wanted to do everything by the book. And Ben Affleck, he was more of the get the things done type of person. And so that's the gist of it. And he also has a brother. So once she realized that she didn't want to get her hands dirty the way Ben Affleck was, he recommended his brother for, to help with the case so that, whatever he was doing didn't have to be exposed or whatever. Okay, so now his brother is involved. He goes against his brother, but his brother has this very, very, his brother is aggravated with his big brother, which is Ben Affleck. He's very aggravated with him because he doesn't hear from him unless there's something that he needs or something like that. Like, he's been looking for him for years, but hasn't heard from him. And, and if you ask me, they had a really cute relationship. It was so cute. The way they got along and the way he just completely fell in line every time his brother needed something was just so crazy. It came to, being how he was taught, like family is everything, that type of thing, to stick together and all that. And so The Accountant was a really good movie. I watched The Accountant 2. And so that made me say, okay, well, it's The Accountant 2. It has to be Accountant 1. And so I went back to look for that, and I found it. So I did watch 1. So I'm able to say everything I'm saying because the 2 was... I watched 2 first. Okay. So anyways, I don't know how Ben Affleck is able to play such a boring person but make it so entertaining. It is so crazy. I really, really love this movie, and I've never seen the guy who played his brother in another movie besides The Punisher. The Punisher wasn't a movie either. No, he actually did. I seen him in another movie, but I can't say what it was. He played the exact same type of combat role, shooting people and being the guy who is kind of aggravated, but still, he's over life, and he just the Punisher type of behavior. I don't know if you guys seen the Marvel's The Punisher, but he was the guy who played it, and I think they killed his wife in that. It's been like years since I've seen this, but I think they killed his wife and maybe his daughter or something like that, or one of his kids, and he had nobody left, so he was basically punishing everybody who was involved in the case and that type of thing. I want to say that's what happened. It's been a while. I just know that I enjoyed it because I love a good action, y'all. I love action movies. And so when they finally got together, despite his aggravation, and then the little funny parts that his brother was working on before he even got involved with Ben Affleck in this movie was so freaking funny. You just have to watch. I was about to say what happened like right before they got together, but I'm just gonna let you guys watch it because it's just hilarious. Take my word on it. It's so good. So, by the time they got to the end, like towards the end, and they was trying to find the person, and the girl who kind of put them together, she was like, I don't want y'all working with me because this is not how I do things, And I guess this is one of those types of movies where sometimes you just have to get your hands dirty at work. Sometimes you have to get your hands dirty to get the results that you need. You can't always do things always by the book, but that's what she wanted to do. She like, listen, I ain't never did nothing like this. This is not how I foresee my future going, where I'm doing, the law in this way, So, so then we go to to the accountant one, and I go back and see how it all started, because I remember this comment the little brother had made, the one who played in The Punisher. He said something like, so first Ben Affleck made this comment about, she was saying something about, her being in the position that she's in, and Ben Affleck said, I put you there. I was like, and he didn't say it with no malice or anything. It was a matter of factly, I put you there. And it even made her stop and be like, well, damn, I guess he did put me here. But he wasn't saying it like in no aggravating way, like no, it wasn't like something that a person could get offended by. It was just a way like, I put you there. Like, oh, I know what position you're in. I put you there, type of thing. It was so fun. It was kind of like, oh, that aha moment. Yeah, we know why you're there. It was so cool. But the brother had made this comment like, I haven't seen you in 5 years or something like that, and then the first time you call me is with this, and I come to help you, and it was something in that form of fashion, and it made me say, let me go back and see how this all started and why it's like this. The ending to this first movie, y'all. The ending to this first movie. Oh my gosh, I love a good action movie. You hear me? When him and his brother was fighting, you hear me? The fight was the fight, okay? I could tell his brother has hands, okay? But, sometimes when you're dealing with somebody who you can't say no to, when you're dealing with somebody who just has to finish and see it through, sometimes they just be more determined than you. And plus, you can see both of them was trying not to hurt each other, but they was angry. That was so cool. And then I was able to just kind of see how Ben Affleck, kind of went through this, went to this emotional trauma behind the disease that he had, with the syndrome that he had, and how he got through it. And the only person who helped him get through it mostly was his dad. And his dad was helping him understand that his brother also is a person who has to be involved because family is first, When everybody around him was trying to tell him he couldn't live a normal life and that he was going to have to go live somewhere else just to live this way, he told him no. So against all odds, his dad was still fighting for him. The mother, she couldn't take what was going on around her. It was just too stressful for her. She ended up leaving the family, and yeah, she left the family. And so, sometimes that makes a child say it's us against the world type of thing. So that's what ended up happening. In the midst of it all, his dad got killed trying to go to her funeral, but he was just basically stepping in to protect Ben Affleck and ended up getting shot in the situation. So the brother kind of held, heartbreak for that, and the fact that, he went to go see his mother without him, and also the fact that he knew his mom left. She was the one who left us. Like, why would you go see her? And then you have a nerve to go see her. I'm the one who always had your back. Like, and that was so crazy, because now that I'm thinking, like, when I'm thinking about it, if he would have called him instead, he probably would have, jumped in front of the bullet, and it probably would have been him dead instead of his dad. So I'm just thinking about it. But his dad had the mind to get both of them trained and prepared for life. And, you have to love a parent who believes in you no matter what, who has love for you no matter what, and just fights for you until the end and tell you can do it, even when you have doubts that you can. And tell you to get up when you have fallen, because you have more in you. And so just listening to, and so Ben Affleck was leading by this code that he has, because he was just an accountant. He's just supposed to be an accountant, but sometimes he had clients who was involved in high-level things that he helped them get out of and end up being in the wrong situation at the wrong time. But because of his special set of skills, y'all know, he has a special set of skills that, but, gosh, I love a good action movie, y'all. And so, because I watched The Accountant one, and then I had to rewind the ending of it and rewatch it again. Ben Affleck ain't no joke. I do like the movie. I did like him in Batman. I liked him in quite a few movies, but I never really, paid attention to me. Oh, Ben Affleck is like a really, really good actor. I didn't see it that way. But him playing this role, I'm like, I can see this being more like how he is, like just kind of, I don't know, a certain way. Then Anna Kendrick was in this movie as well, and she was similar to him. And he lived this life the way he lived it, where, he couldn't get close to anyone. So he couldn't get hugs or kisses or love, and didn't know how to say, thank you, or I missed you, or things like that. So that kind of offended his brother. But his brother was like, listen, is this because you have this disease, because you have this problem? Is it because of this? His brother couldn't even explain the problem, what it was, like a syndrome, what syndrome it was. But is this happening because of this reason? Like, are you not able to say you're sorry or reach out to me because of this? And Ben Affleck tried to kind of explain it in his own way that, I have dangerous clients who do this and do that. I, on the other hand, feel like he just didn't know how to reach out. But at the end of the second movie, it was just the best ending ever. And seeing how them come together and them smiling and laughing together was just everything. And then Ben Affleck was diagnosing this guy as a cat person, and he's like, oh no, I want this dog. He was like, no, how often are you away from home? Well, what's this, what's that? Well, sounds to me like you a cat person, so it's just hilarious how he just called it in like, no, I like dogs, man. I don't even like cats, But then he ended up finding his cat that he kind of fell in love with. It's just so funny and so cute. And so I'm looking forward to seeing more movies that he played in. I've been watching a lot of action movies lately, a lot of action things, The Equalizer, things like that. If you guys want me to come on and talk about that, I will talk about The Equalizer, because, I love a good action, okay? The Equalizer, as far as the Queen Latifah one. And I recently watched The Equalizer with Denzel as well. And if you guys want me to review that one, I will. So thank you guys so much for watching. I don't know what else can I say about this movie except for go watch it if you have not. Ben Affleck did his thing on this movie. I have to find out this other guy's name. I want to say his name is John, but I could have made that up. It's something that starts with a J. Jason, Justin, Jeremy, something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But I do know that as a actor, I do like him in that the Punisher type of role, like in this, in this ad. This is the best thing. Even the Punisher, he never smiled. I see him smile with his wife, but that was like in past tense. Throughout this entire movie, he didn't smile. He just smiled only when, he was with his wife and he felt like maybe he didn't have anything else to live for. And so every single day he was, annoyed and upset with everything and everybody, around him. And all he wanted to do was eat, sleep, and breathe revenge. So, he woke up in the era of just killing people. Let me find out who is this and why they were there, and whoever it was, I'm gonna kill you. So I like the action in that way, but I also like somebody who has the moral code and wants only certain people dead, not like somebody who's killing everybody. And I like that about Ben Affleck in this movie. He had certain people that, he just wouldn't touch, and the good guys have to live, and we have to save the man who can't save himself or speak for the person who, can't have words because he, was that person who was living inside of himself for so long that he had someone to save him. That was his dad. His dad saw something more in him and knew that he could do it despite all odds. So, we all want someone who will make us see life in a different way sometimes, and I think that was what he was to him. He also had served some time in jail. He met someone there who trying to change his life and how he saw things as well, and that person ended up getting murdered. So now he went and murdered all these people, which is how this guy the investigative person got involved with him, and he saw, kind of how he thought, and he's like on the fence line of how he felt about him. Like, I don't know, he's a murderer and he's a lifesaver. Like, I don't know how I feel about him. Like, on one hand, I believe he's just a murderer, and on the other hand, I think he got a moral code. Like, he has a reason why he left me alive, because if he was just a murderer, I would be dead right now. And so, you have to look at someone who saves your life while you are in a place where you're not supposed to be, so I think once he saw him in a different light, and he saw that he was going to call and kind of get involved with him just a little bit further, he was just like, wait for this call. And the person on the other end of the phone, the IT person, and having to finish it, and we have to keep going, and them breaking into people's stuff, and the girl who they were trying to find, and she ended up not really being a bad person. They took this girl away from her son. Like, it was a whole layers of a movie. So I do love that, it was like kind of straight to the point, but still kind of like very eventful. Very, very, a lot of action, a lot of shooting, a lot of jumping off cliffs and doing all kinds of stuff. And, it was like a little bit of trafficking. I hated that they had to have kids involved in this, type of thing. But I love his brother at the end was like, go ahead and go without me. Like, this whole movie, he's like, bam, 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 shooting everybody, killing everybody. And then when he finally got shot this one time, it was like over. And then Ben Affleck left him. He's like, go ahead and go, save the kids, save the kids. So then he drove off, and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm like, ah! Y'all, I don't be getting excited about nothing, but I love me a good action movie, you hear me? Okay, then when they got together again, and they went to go save the kids, and we can see if they gonna save these kids. Then when they got in the car by themselves and they had this moment, it was just like, I think it'll be fun. I was like, this movie is so good. This is actually like another one of my, what's the opposite of a pet peeve? This is another one of my, like, things that I love. I'm gonna say that this is another thing that I love. I love how men get along. Like, they can fight and they can be back together, like, and talking in no time. So this is the thing that I like. They scrapping, completely scrapping, and then they end up just working it out somehow. Like, oh, whatever, fighting. Like, real, I stabbed you in the leg. So what? Get over it. And that's what I saw in this movie. Like the brotherhood, the love, and the support. His brother just dropping everything just to come. And this is it's how I see myself. I'm like, why do I feel like this is how I am? This is completely how I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll go, a long period of time without talking to my sister, and then she'll call me out of the blue and ask me for something, and I'll rush over there and do it, and it's never good enough, and I cannot. And I'm thinking about, like, how do I keep getting myself into this situation where I'm doing something I know is not going to be right for her, but I still keep going and doing it like a fool, and then I leave with my heart broken because I'm trying to get, and that's exactly what happened in this movie. So I'm like, I can relate to this so much. When I watch a movie, I like to escape from things, or I like to see it exactly how it will happen in life. I don't like to kind of deviate from it. I do like a creative side of a movie, like something that, like, dang, I never expect nobody to make a movie about this. But I also like, movies that I know it won't happen in real life or will happen in real life kind of thing. But the realistic side of it, like, I don't believe in no blue people or just stuff with abnormal, like, I don't like strange movies, you know what I'm saying? Strange movies. I don't know, but yeah, I've been on this kick where I've been watching a lot of action movies. I watched White House Down again a couple days ago. Like I said, I watched The Equalizer. I've been watching The Equalizer with Denzel and Queen Latifah, and I really believe I just love a good action movie. Yesterday, while I was at work, I did watch a movie, which is very rare. I'm not usually like watching movies while I'm here. But I watched, it was like a day short or a dollar short. I mean, a day something and a dollar short with Whoopi Goldberg. That movie was good. It was real good. I like how at the end she really just knew her daughters, and her idea of getting them all together, having them read the letters to one another, and it being in the voice of someone else, but in her thoughts. But it was actually something that they could connect to because they knew exactly what it was. Like, it's all about forgiveness. If I talk to you and I tell you, hey, I know you hurt him, but I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that this is what I've done to make you feel this way, or blah, blah, blah. And I haven't known how to get past this before, but now I know exactly how to get past this. I love a good movie with a good lesson in it, so I'm not just an action or comedy movie. I do like chick flicks as well, like The Notebook, The Vow, The Titanic, I think The Time Traveler's Wife. I like that movie. Some movies like that. But that's not my go-to movie. My go-to movie is action. I like to laugh too. Ooh, and another action movie I watched recently was Money Talks. I love Chris Tucker. I just love Chris Tucker. So I just be watching these action movies, man. Yo, I love it. So anyways, my video was getting long. I can't believe I've been talking for 23 minutes, 24 minutes now, about this darn movie. But I just had to come on here and tell y'all what I thought about it, because I love an action movie. I want to watch it again. Like, I rewinded the end part of it so much when he shot the man, like, without even thinking about it, and his brother was like, I missed you. And then I rewinded the part, like, when he was like, do you want to hang out? Or I made a reservation. He was like, you made a reservation? I was like, that's crazy. Like, he wasn't even expecting it at all. And when they said, I think it'd be fun. And then he said, I think it'll be fun too. And they just together, they smiled, even though, because it's like they know. each other. He know his brother don't normally, step outside of his comfort zone and things that he like to do. I do like the parts in the first one too, where he was with Anna Kendrick, and he was just telling her like, get your stuff, sis, because you making me, act outside of what I normally would do, and I'm real stressed about it, but I'm still gonna commit to helping you. So just get your stuff together so we can go. And the fact that she trusted him enough to keep going, stuff like that, and the fact that he went through this whole entire house and killed all these people, and their brother managed to not kill each other and still end up getting the bad guy. So I loved it. And then him calling his brother a freak, he kind of felt like in his heart that he was talking about him, because he was like, now what he sound like again? What he look like? You ain't see him, but you know he do this. But what did he sound like though? Because you sound like you talking about my brother. I'm gonna watch this camera the whole time for, right quick, so I can see. Y'all better not shoot my brother. I love it. He was like, so what he sound like again? I was like, oh my gosh. And when the movie came together, because it's scary, because it's like, what if he would have got shot and then he found out through the grapevine, like, wait, I was actually involved in, in something that got my brother killed. Would he have changed his profession? Like, what would it have taken for the outcome of this movie to have changed, So, comment down below what kind of movies that you guys like. Is it action or comedy, or do you like, chick flicks, dramedy? I watched White Chick the other day too, and I also watched Major Payne yesterday. I watched Major Payne yesterday when I was, not yesterday, the day before yesterday. It was yesterday before I was at work. So yesterday when I come in, yesterday morning. I worked last night and then tonight. So that would make it 2 days ago. It was 2 days ago when I watched Major Payne, but I watched that. Y'all, I love Major Payne. You know the part I love the most? When he had him and these kids just scrapping each other. Like, I'm trying to get rid of you. I don't want to get this trophy. I only want it so I can get rid of you. I don't want it for no other reason but that. And then he goes outside on his family day and see his father about to hit him, and then the camera just like zooms all around him. It's just all around and pans in on everything around him, and there's no sign of Major Payne. There's no sign of him. Then all of a sudden, when he's getting ready to hit this dude again, he just grabs his hand and he said, listen, you hit that boy again, I'll show you. I was like, I love it. I love it. He came out of nowhere without nobody hearing him, not even us or the camera. Y'all, I love a good movie. And then when he's just like, when he let the dude hit him, so funny. Like, he just let the dude hit. Like, I heard you out here giving these kids a hard time. It's just like, the party's just getting started. And then he just like, I was like, I love it, y'all. And then when he kept making, like, his surprise for himself when he realized that he liked Karen Parson in the movie. She kept on saying something that made him blush, and he's like, why do I feel like a fool? And then when he was just dancing like that, thank you, I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. And then when they was like, do it, okay, I'm dead. Oh, and then when Witchcom tripped him up, doing the run at the end, and then everybody in line just started fighting each other like, pew, 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 pew. It was so fun. And so, the moral of the story is I love a good action movie, y'all. Give me some more movies to watch. Get something else that I can just come to you guys and talk to you about, because I love a good movie. So the name of my channel is All Things Creative. I'm so sorry I be talking to y'all about everything, but this is another creative thing that I like to talk about as a movie review. So I hope you guys have a good one. Talk to me down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one later.